All right, let's talk about cultural miscommunication. Black people communicate different. It's a facts. We communicate different. We more expressive, more personality. You have a faster tempo depending on where you are around the country. Some people have a slower tempo now. I was talking to the guy the other day, and I'm like, dude, you know, you hear some of these shorties now, they just be talking real slow, man. And what's the NBA young boy? The way he talk, him and then the other dude that signed to him, they talk the same. They just be talking all. What? I don't. What the fuck does that mean? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. So I understand why a person from a different walk of life who speaks correct English wouldn't understand it either. What else as far as cultural miscommunication? More emotional cadence. You already know how we get, especially I'm from the crib. You get the clap in your hand. You know the women, they get the clap, the dudes get the stacking it. Man, boy, I'll beat your motherfucking ass. Boy, man, run me my chop, boy. Run me that chop. White people, they ain't used to that shit. Whoa, that's intimidating. You go from regular like, man, run me that bread, Joe. White people ain't used to that. They used to more of a casual conversation, even in time of of maybe a debate or a disagreement. The most you'll see is they turn red. You know when they get upset, they just gonna turn red. But they not as emotionally expressive as black people. And then when you start to do that, they get intimidated, bro. They don't want to deal with you. To them, that's probably scary. When you on the phone with a person, you could be on the phone with a broker, and maybe the load didn't go your way. I've heard some stories. I've seen some situations on Instagram when these people be recording their conversations. I seen somebody walk into a shipper and was just a grown ass man and was completely unruly. I seen the viral video of the black dude and the white trainer. I think both of them was wrong. But this, I'm just using as an example. You see what the white trainer dude did, but then you see how emotionally expressive the black guy was. Not to say it was right or not to say it wrong. I'm just proving a point as far as emotionally expressive. I'm not saying that that's right or wrong or good or bad, but I'm just giving an example. All right. So in logistics, especially when you're on the phone, every single word is time sensitive and every word is recorded. And that style can get misinterpreted. All right. Aggressive. When you get to raise your tone, because you may raise it in a way where it's conducive to your environment and maybe, you know, your upbringing or whatever, but it's not professional. It's unprofessional. It's careless. If you disagree with somebody, you still got to keep a 6-inch voice. So when other ethnicities, right, they hear you and the way you express yourself and the way the reason why they may not want to deal with you is because they're not accustomed to dealing with that. How you talk in the barbershop or how you talk with your homies is not the way you should talk in your business, even with your employees. Something that was brought up in the Discord the other day, I think John wanted me to talk about it. I'm just going to incorporate that into this is, and I think Moving Company Hustle brought up too, communication amongst each other. Another reason people got fatigued. So let's look at it from a more personal perspective, like a final mile where you may be in a person's home assembling something for an hour, a treadmill or an elliptical, or let's say from the moving aspect where you may have to spend the whole day. The communication between the crew can be uncomfortable. It could be unprofessional. So it makes it uncomfortable. Yo, I don't want them niggas in my house. This is what they saying in their head. So while you thinking it's cool to sit up there and talk about what you did last night and who you did it with and what you gonna do after work and making calls and arguing with your baby mama while you on a job on a job, that shit is unprofessional, and this is what places the stigma on us. I remember when I did the live stream about my journey, and I talked about when I wrapped my trucks, why I wrapped them the way I wrapped them. One of the main things was why you didn't put no black family on there. Like, employees were really like upset when they seen them trucks start to come back and it was a white man on it. Because I already know the stigmatism exists. And I know majority of our business comes from downtown and the north side. See, I understand the demographic. Black people don't hire movers. Black people go get a U-Haul, and they get their cousins and people from the neighborhood to help. They're not finna pay $100, $200, $300 an hour, right? So, and I know the stigma. So I'm marketing my company, not that it's not on black, but I'm not using marketing that could insinuate that it could possibly be owned by a black person. Because I understand that's going to be thousands and potentially over the course of years, millions of dollars that I'm going to lose out on. See, these people couldn't understand it because they're not business owners. And I'll never forget, I got a call one day. I'm in the office. One of the workers called. They're doing a move in Hyde Park. And this is a customer that had used us 3 times up until that point. And that customer, black guy, was talking to the mover that called back to the office. And within conversation, it just came out that the company was black owned. And the customer, he was like, really? Because the way it's presented, not just the marketing from the trucks, but just the way it was presented. Uniforms, clean trucks, professionalism. He was so proud that he had that mover call. He wanted to talk to me. Call came through. Yeah, the customer want to talk to you. Anytime a customer want to talk to you on an active move, 9.5 times out of 10, it's not good. It's bad. Something done happened. Something got broke. A floor done got scratched. So I'm asking him to prep me. I'm like, man, what y'all done do? What happened, bro? Why you want to talk? No, it's not bad. He just want to talk to you. Man, just put him on. Hey, Mark. Yeah, this is Mark. Man, I just want to let you know, man, you get it. Say you get it. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, man, I've used you 3 times and there's nothing on your website. Your trucks are not branded. Like, it's like nothing screams that this is a black owned company. I want to let you know you get it. You know how to get this money. You get it. And I understood what he meant. And he understood why I didn't go plaster black-owned business, this, that, and the third, putting the black family on the trucks, this, that, and the third, because a lot of my money is going to walk out the door because of the stigmatism. See, me, I'm a realist. And I'm about the money. I don't get in the business to be what's the word I'm looking for? I'm in the business to make money. So if I know it's a stigmatism on us, then I can't market myself. I can't market my business and because I'm not going to make any money. In my market, black people don't hire movers. So I'm going to just not put it out there at all. You're not going to know who owns it. And I'm going to make sure that every single guy's clean, every single guy's uniform, the trucks are clean, they're wrapped, and it's going to be ran like it was a Joe Schmo that owns a moving company on the other side of town. I'm saying that to say this. People that don't operate like that, who have the same skin complexion, have to go up against the stigmatism based on other people. And then we have to work around the stigmatism to make money. First thing you got to do is admit it exists. I'm not trying to go out and change the whole way people look. The only thing I can do is do my part and show up and say, yo, you know what? Everybody ain't like that. You'd be surprised. A lot of the people, right, when the people would show up, they'd be surprised it was a black-owned company. Because even when they called in to book the move, the professionalism on the phone, the vernacular didn't represent what they would normally expect from talking on the phone to a black person. There's no ebonics. There's no AAVE. There's no fast talking. There's no drawl. The words are enunciated correctly. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to lose this customer. This may be the only time that I can get this customer on the phone, and I have to close this. So the way I'm talking to my homies is not the way I'm talking to a customer. And then there's a guy that was in the chat last week said, no, you got to put your white voice on. There's no such thing as a white voice. That's the most ignorant shit I've ever heard in my life. One of the most ignorant things I've ever heard in my life. There's no such thing as a white voice. Proper English is proper English. A person can tell that you're black, but a black person that speaks proper English because you know how to enunciate your words correctly. There are plenty of black people that speak fluent English. I see people on the internet all the time. Black people, beautiful black people that speak proper English. But then there's a bunch of people that don't. And they don't know how to turn shit on or turn shit off, I should say, when it's time to do business. The way you talk to your friends is not the way you should be conducting business. And if you can't enunciate words and your vernacular is not on point, then that's a problem. If you want to be in business, you want to communicate, and you want to go up in this way, okay, you may be doing okay, but if you want to continue to go up, I'm going to tell you something. The people that as you scale up, they don't look like this. And you're going to get to a point where you're going to deal with somebody and they ain't going to understand what the hell you're saying because you can't articulate your words correctly. You can't enunciate words. Your vernacular is off.